Hey everybody, it's Andre. It is about 4 o'clock on Friday, and I'm sorry if you're getting a little Kathleen Turner voice right now. I stayed up a little too late last night. As I mentioned before, I just started working at the Condor Club in San Francisco this week, and turns out I'm used to getting out of a strip club around 2 a.m. At the Condor, they kind of release you maybe around 3 o'clock, and then by the time you get home, it's 4 a.m. already. So I'm having a great time. I'm starting to think I'm maybe getting a little too old for this. um, I learned some really interesting facts this week about the place that I now work. I worked on Wednesday and Thursday nights. Probably going to be my regular jam if I stick with it. So you guys should come out and visit me. But the Condor was actually the first topless go-go bar in the United States in 1964, is what I found out. There was a very famous woman there who danced. Forgetting her name. It's like something Doda, D-O-D-A. Some famous stripper was there for a long ass time. Personally, what I find the most interesting about this place is that it's regularly included on ghost tours in San Francisco because there have been multiple deaths reported at the Condor Club since 1964. The best one, and I'm using a quite loose definition of the word best, but the most notorious one happened in the 80s, and depending on who you ask, it's a little bit different. After hours, the bar closed down, and one of the dancers and one of the bouncers started getting busy on top of this big grand piano. Now, back in the 80s, the grand piano was on the stage, and it was on like a hydraulic system, so it was part of the show, so to speak, and it would like lift all the way up and come all the way down, based on hydraulics. And this dancer and this bouncer are getting busy on the piano, and another dancer so happens to walk by the scene, and I don't know if she had some kind of situation going on with one of the people or not, or if she was just a total sadistic cunt, but she activated the hydraulic system on the piano, and it rose all the way up and it crushed them. The guy died, but his body protected the dancer, and so she was stuck underneath this dead man for like 12 hours until the staff came back the next day to open the club. So I don't know if that bodes well for any kind of like employee relations at the Condor Club, but it makes for a really good story. And this year they're already talking about doing this really cute Halloween thing where all of the dancers dress up as ghosts of people who have essentially like passed or passed on or passed through the Condor in different ways since the 60s. So I have no idea what the hell that'll look like, but it's really interesting. Dancing is so interesting. I've been doing it for so long, and one of the most fascinating things to me is what my experiences are like geographically, the differences dancing in different clubs in different states in the United States, as well as how I perceive it based on where I am in my life currently, how old I am, what other work I'm doing, my relationships, etc., etc. So it's definitely a sorority feel, which I've never been much of a girl's girl, funny enough, but I have always really enjoyed dancers and the camaraderie of other sex workers in general. So the first night was a little rough. It was really slow. It was not a good inaugural night. I had a few customers who were very disrespectful. I actually made the bulk of my money because some guy grabbed my ass while I was walking by the bar, and I turned around and told him exactly how much that had just cost him, and he paid me out. So I didn't do a whole lot of dancing on Wednesday night. And then last night was more fun. A really funny dynamic for me is when you're in a strip club, you're around a bunch of girls, and, sex workers in general, I feel like, have more fluid ideas of, sexuality and gender, and are just you know, generally more sexually liberated. Not that surprising. But, you know, as a result, you tend to get a lot of girls who are bisexual or queer who are working in that environment. And something that's always been really, really difficult for me as a woman who really likes other women is when we get booked to do dances together. And I kind of feel this way about porn, too. It's like, if I'm working in a really close, intimate way with somebody who I know for a fact is not actually attracted to women, then I feel like really weird. It feels like really disingenuous in this like uncomfortable way, and I have this like fear that I'm gonna be like much more into it than they are, and that's gonna like freak them out, or I don't know. It's just like a weird insecurity that I have. I have a hard time like separating my work from my life, which normally is wonderful, but for example, I got booked to do a private room at the Condor Nest, which is like this little like penthouse like kind of room on top of the bar, and with this gorgeous girl, gorgeous girl, um, who I was really stoked about doing a room with because it meant that we could like grind all up on each other. Lots of times it's awesome to have another girl there because then like the guy doesn't get, you know, super handsy. Like you don't really have to pay that much attention to him. You can just like play around with the girl, and then he thinks that's super great, and then like you leave, and I don't know, it's the best way to make money. But this girl was very much not into other girls. She was very, very straight and going through a divorce. So this guy, of course, wanted to see us like all like spanking each other and like, you know, just doing all crazy stuff. And the whole time I'm like mama queer in my head, and I'm like, okay, is this okay for her? Like, is this too weird? Is this too gay? Is this too much? Like, I don't know. So I'm going to try and book more rooms with queer girls at the Condor Club. So that's the moral of that story. Anyway, I don't want to spend this whole time talking about the Condor Club. It's been a hell of a week. I had a really rough week last week. I had a pretty rough week this week until today, last night today. But some really great things are happening, as usual, good and bad. A scene that I did with Drew Deveaux came out on queerporntv.com last week. I totally forgot to mention it. But it is one of the favorite scenes I've ever done. I find porn that I make really hard to watch. I can't really watch myself in scenes. The exceptions are when I shoot with real-life partners, or if I do something that I'm really, really proud of on camera. Like I rise to a challenge, or I don't know, I unlock some secret part of myself or something or other. Anyway, we shot this scene outside during the Dyke March at San Francisco Pride this past year, and I really, really, really care for Drew very deeply. I met her in the spring, and we really hit it off, and I'm trying to convince her to come relocate to San Francisco from Toronto, where she is currently. But so far, she's only visited, and when she visited, we actually shot a few times together. We cammed for Kink Live, we shot for Queer Porn TV, and we also shot a short film for Crash Pad series, and I cannot wait to watch all of those things. My scene with her for Queer Porn TV was by far the most challenging porn scene I've done so far. It was shot outside with thousands and thousands of people around, and I am not an exhibitionist. As funny as that may be to some people, I really, really, really get uncomfortable and get like very much in my own head when I'm trying to be genuinely intimate with a partner of mine in public view of other people. So I actually prefer to be very private in that way. So yeah, I had to like really step outside of my comfort zone for this scene, but it was beautiful outside. Drew is so hot, and we have really great chemistry, and Courtney and the crew created such a safe environment amid all of the chaos that we just like fed off this amazing energy, this like amazing supportive community feel, and fucking got it on in the middle of Dolores Park. So I hope that you guys all go check it out and enjoy it. A few more minutes left. Let's see. you. Oh, I'm this is like a personal note. So really quick announcement, my website, I will be sending out a newsletter on Monday. My website will start charging membership dues next week. So again, get it in. If you truly can't afford it, then get it in before the membership dues start. Check out all the hot stuff that's on there right now. And if you can afford it, and I hope you can, I'm going to make it as financially accessible as humanly possible, then I really, really hope that you stick with it because I have lots of exciting things coming up. So that's my plug. But quick little personal story. So I'm poly. I'm polyamorous. I date multiple people at the same time. I'm really good at calendars and scheduling. I have been my whole life. I've been in open relationships, some of them non-consensual, and most of them, thankfully, consensual. And I recently ran into a problem because I have a primary partner, so like my main squeeze, right, who I live with. And normally I date other people who don't have primary partners, so like I'm like their person. And recently I started seeing somebody who also has a primary partner, and they actually are part of a triad. They have two partners that they all live together in one condo, one apartment. It works really well and they're wonderful people, but when I live with my partner and they live with their partner, it makes it really, really hard to find a place to fuck. And this is what I call one of the queer Seinfeld moments, which Miss Susie Q first coined that phrase in front of me when I was telling her a story about how I hooked up with somebody and had no idea what gender they were assigned at birth when we like went into that situation. So I literally had no idea what was in their pants. And I was like, fuck it, doesn't matter. It's going to be a surprise. It's going to be great either way. And Susie was like, that's totally the queer Seinfeld moment. Like, you're right, Susie. Susie's always right. So this is another queer Seinfeld moment. So this partner and I, for months, have been like, really, I mean, the sexual frustration is like hot by itself, I guess, but more frustrating than hot. I don't like not getting what I want. I don't really do well with that. And recently we even heard about this thing called the hookup truck. I think it's like hookuptruck.com, and it's supposedly this like big mythical like RV that drives around the San Francisco Bay Area, and you can like pay a small fee, and it's like a hotel on wheels, a motel on wheels or whatnot. And they have little like rooms in there, and they even have little video cameras set up in case you want to like make your own movie. And I've seen these little cards around, and like I've been like tweeting at the hookup truck because I thought it was the greatest thing ever, and I was like, oh my god, called my partner, I'm like, I found a place that we can go. I even like one night was super drunk after a nightclub, night out the nightclub in the Castro, and I tried to take this person back to the San Francisco Armory to see if I could like sneak them in. Because we were so desperate. We were so desperate. The moral of the story is we just kind of like gave up, and we like booked a hotel room tomorrow night. So I can't really afford to keep doing this, but like sex is really good, and I mean, if anybody else who maybe has been in a similar situation or you know, sees themselves in the future maybe being in that situation, if you have any other ideas, let me know, because aside from like hooking up in a tree or something, I'm not quite sure where poly people with primary partners at home are supposed to get it on. So so I have a little hotel tryst tomorrow night that I'm paying for because I have nowhere to fuck. So anyway, I thought that would be maybe slightly entertaining to some of you. I will leave you on that note. I hope you all have a wonderful, sexy, naughty, kinky, safe, I don't know what other words to use, weekends. And I will talk to you very, very soon. Lots of love. Thanks for listening. Bye.